in East Palestine, Ohio, contains higher than normal concentrations of 9 harmful chemicals after that toxic derailment. The findings are in direct contrast to the EPA's ongoing assurance that the air quality in the area is safe. Despite those assurances, the EPA chief has a warning.
The accident occurred, and as a result, some of our creeks and our streams have pollution in them. We're working very hard to clean up that pollution. For the time being, while the pollution is present, as a father, I would not advise anybody, adult or child, play in the creeks and streams.
Oh my goodness. As a dad, wow. That was honest and transparent. Rare. Growing pressure on Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg over his response or lack thereof. He did go there last week. It took him 20 days. According to the New York Post, Buttigieg sat for 19 interviews and attended a swanky White House dinner in the first 8 days after the crash and didn't mention it once. Some Republicans say impeachment is not off the table for him. Georgia Congressman Mike Collins says the solution is you get rid of Pete Buttigieg and get somebody in there that knows what they're doing. So, Raj, I come to you. I realize that he's not a chemist or anything like that, but your pulpit travels with you, and you can get the attention of who you need to. And this report today is damning about the high levels of contaminants there in East Palestine.
No doubt they are, and I want to first say that as President Biden always says, don't tell me your values, show me your budget. Now, under successive Trump budgets, the EPA was proposed to be cut by 26%, including a 10% cut to Superfund sites, despite there being a backlog of over 50 Superfund sites, toxic sites, across the industrial heartland, across Ohio and Pennsylvania and upstate New York and places like that. So I completely agree that regulations, that funding for the EPA to clean up toxic sites is an incredibly important thing. And it seems wasteful. It's like insurance. You and I buy insurance for accidents. And if something doesn't happen, it seems like we wasted our money. But when it does, you wish you had it. And this is a long-term problem in our country. We need more funding to clean up toxic waste sites.
Well, it is a long-term problem.
And it's been it's been created by decade after decade of starving these agencies. But my question is, why the obsession with Pete Buttigieg on this specific issue?
Because he's a transportation secretary, and the FRA, the Federal Rails Agency, is underneath his purview.
But the NTSB isn't even.
Yeah, but the FRA is on the ground today. They know that it's their job. Look, I hear what you're saying about the regulations. I don't know if you caught the Washington Post article yesterday that said nothing that the Trump administration did in terms of its cuts. Nobody's denying anything that you say, that those regulations were loosened. None of that had anything to do with what's playing out in East Palestine, Ohio.
We have 52 toxic waste sites right now that are identified that haven't been cleaned up.
We're talking about people who can't drink their water and their kids can't play in it, and the EPA told them not to.
And that exists across the country.
Well, first off,
we'll start with Flint. You could go there. But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah. Right after September 11, 2001, the EPA was putting out statements about the air being okay to breathe in the World Trade Center site. And we still haven't learned these lessons of that rush towards giving that green light. So from one standpoint, you have that aspect of this issue with regards to the toxicity of the air and the impacts on the people who live in that community. As it relates to Secretary Buttigieg, listen, this is about a fundamental principle of leadership. Where should you be? How do you lead? You should be present. And in some respects, there's a desire, if we don't talk about it, maybe the issue will just go away. But if you're signing up to be the Secretary of Transportation, it is your job, as you pointed out, to use your bully pulpit, to show up there, to bring the resources, to call for action, and not try to punt and try to blame someone else who hasn't been in power now for years. It's just about showing up, not making excuses, and getting the job done. The people who live around the East Palestine site, that's all they care about. They just want action.
Across
they just want
2
leadership.
states now. And now several other states are involved because they kept trying to truck that stuff out, and then Norfolk Southern had to take some of it back to East Palestine, Ohio, because nobody wants it. Nobody wants all that waste. I would say this. You ask a good question, Suraj. Why Pete Buttigieg? You know why? Because he wanted the highest job in the land. He ran for president. He's different in that role. And he knows he's different in that role. Now he just has to act like it. Great to see you both. Thank you.